Deterrence Unscripted, what the Iran-Israel escalation really revealed. 20th of June 2025. The recent confrontation between Iran and Israel was expected by many to follow a familiar script: limited strikes, symbolic damage, and carefully managed optics designed more for message sending than for actual escalation. In the early phases, this expectation seemed to hold. Israel's initial targets, such as Iran's state broadcasting facilities, appeared chosen for their symbolic value. Similarly, Iran's early response was measured, with the majority of incoming missiles intercepted and damage kept to a minimum. Both sides seemed to be performing a ritual of deterrence, stopping short of open warfare. However, this delicate balance did not last. The situation abruptly shifted when factions within Iran, likely elements of the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps, IRGC, or associated command structures, broke from the script. What began as theatrical signaling transformed into a real and precise counterstrike. For Iran, this was not simply retaliation. It was a demonstration that it could and would shift from controlled symbolism to decisive action when it deemed necessary. This evolution marked a significant moment in modern deterrence dynamics, revealing the internal pressures and ideological fault lines shaping Iran's strategic behavior. These events also underscored the fragmented nature of strategic authority in Iran. The divergence between calculated restraint and full-scale retaliation points to tensions within the Iranian political and military elite. Competing agendas, some leaning towards diplomacy and others advocating for nationalistic assertiveness, have made Iran's actions increasingly unpredictable. The final decision to strike was not just a response to Israel, but a declaration of autonomy by hardline actors who refused to be sidelined by more cautious elements within their own system. In this unscripted escalation, deterrence itself underwent redefinition. As Dr. Rais Hussin argues, deterrence is not about performative threat-making or calculated ambiguity. It is proven through precision, silence, and the refusal to conform to another nation's narrative. Iran's decision to escalate not only recalibrated the regional balance, but also shattered the illusion that deterrence can be maintained solely through theatrics. Real deterrence, as the events have shown, is grounded in credible capability and the will to act, even when doing so comes at great risk. Israel, long seen as possessing one of the world's most advanced defensive infrastructures, found itself exposed. The effectiveness of its Iron Dome and other air defense systems, previously regarded as almost impenetrable, was brought into question. Despite limited material damage, the psychological impact was undeniable. The muted tone of Israeli media and the hesitance of officials to overstate the effectiveness of their response hinted at deeper strategic discomfort. For the first time in recent memory, Israel's posture of invulnerability had been visibly cracked. Meanwhile, Western powers, particularly the United States, struggled to manage the fallout. Despite their military partnerships and intelligence capabilities, they were largely spectators to the escalation. The collapse of indirect U.S.-Iran diplomacy and the incoherence of American Middle East policy across successive administrations have only served to diminish Western credibility in the region. Iran, though far from monolithic, has projected a more consistent strategic narrative than its Western counterparts, unsettling the traditional balance of discursive power. This narrative shift has extended beyond the region. Countries like Malaysia have weighed in not militarily, but morally and politically. Prime Minister Anwar Ibrahim's government has articulated a clear stance that challenges dominant Western framings of the conflict. This reflects a broader trend in which smaller states assert narrative sovereignty, resisting imposed interpretations and instead advancing independent positions grounded in regional empathy and moral alignment. Ultimately, the Iran-Israel escalation revealed that modern deterrence is no longer about bluster or symbolic displays. It is about credibility forged in uncertainty, precision amidst chaos, and the quiet assertion of agency against overwhelming odds. The episode has redrawn the map of strategic trust and deterrence, and with it, the narratives that have long defined power in the Middle East. Dr. Rais Hussin is the founder of EMIR Research, a think tank focused on strategic policy recommendations based on rigorous research. A heartfelt light, To every soul whose hand did give, you've helped me dream, helped me live. In darkest hours your light came through, with hearts so kind, so pure, so true. Your gifts, like stars in deepest night, have steered me gently toward the light. Each coin, each word, each silent prayer, a thread of hope, so rich, so rare. My eyes once dimmed, now seek the skies, and slowly, clearer visions rise. Because of you, I dare to see the world again. Its grace, its plea. Your compassion's flame will not just stay with me alone. It lights the way for others wandering through despair to feel the warmth of selfless care. You've shown what love in action means, in quiet ways through giving scenes. You've built a bridge from soul to soul and made the broken feel more whole. So let this thanks rise like a song, a melody both soft and strong. May your example gently call more hearts to rise to give. To fall into the joy of lifting pain, of planting hope where none remains. Your kindness walks beside me still, a light, a love, a living will.
Don't forget to hit that subscribe button to show your support.